Nice. Well, not that I have a lot to say, but obviously I appreciate everybody being here on a late Friday afternoon before Labor Day. Thank you, guys. It's been a tough week for our state. And, I think that most folks at home are probably gearing up for Labor Day and not thinking about this, but there are a lot of people that, have been very disappointed with what's transpired in our state over the last week. And, as most people know, Senate Republicans were very interested in coming back to discuss, have the legislature take action on what had transpired with Governor LePage. Yesterday afternoon, we met with the Democratic leaders, and in our discussions, their understanding of the process for calling the legislature back was significantly different than my own. And we agreed that we would, we needed time, I needed time to reach out for legal counsel. I did that this morning. Actually lined it up last night, but did that this morning. The Speaker took action and sent out a poll question, which is probably a confusion process for many people at home, but I believe that the Constitution calls for the Speaker and I to work together on that process. And the question that he sent out would not be one that I would be comfortable sending out to the Senate. So here we are on a Friday afternoon before Labor Day, and that's hanging out there, and potentially 4 or 5 days before we even get to the point where we could pull together another poll question. As my statement says earlier, I'm disappointed in that, and I get it. It's 60 days before an election, and it's a great time to maximize your political advantage. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do, but that's how I see it having played out. Doesn't mean it's the last word on this. My guess is that shortly after the next legislature weighs in, that this issue will be brought up again and well discussed. But given the fact that by the time we get a poll question out, get it back, we're looking at people voting already. And that's unfortunate. Certainly Senate Republicans were prepared to take some action, but I don't see a pathway. In all honesty, there was Representative Fedet's caucus has expressed no desire to come back under any circumstances, and it seems that the Democrats are, talking about only coming back for impeachment, which is not a satisfactory. We're not interested in coming back for impeachment. So that's where we are.
Do you think that he put the poll question out without discussing it with you? Is that, what did that tell you?
Well, what it told me is, I think most people recognize that the Speaker and I have worked together very well over the past 2 years. For us to be in this building together, just last night, and talk about the fact that I was uncomfortable with their process, and I do believe I'm right, and I've got a legal opinion from the same attorney that actually represented the legislature in the Supreme Court over the vetoes. It's unfortunate because, well, let's just be honest. Most people can't go get a hold of their attorney before 9 o'clock in the morning. Why would we send that out at 9 o'clock, knowing that it's going to burn up 5 days? It's not that I don't like the Speaker. I do. He's probably, he's a good guy. But the reality is, I think that's just, I think they were maximizing their political advantage.
Once you're back in, though, right, with your have a session, regardless of whether the reason why you come in, is there anything to prevent anybody from introducing anything?
So the answer to that is yes, and that's why the way you craft question is so important. You can craft the question to say, will you come back for a single day and for this sole purpose? And certainly anybody can get up and offer a different amendment but that would be ruled out of order by the presiding officer, the way I would understand it. I mean, this institution is about, it's about honor and respect, and I think that if that was the agreement, it would be honored, and that was what we were hoping we could accomplish. Unfortunately, we didn't get there, but I don't think it's the last word on this, but it's where we are today.
Was it just the question was too open-ended? Your version of the question was too open-ended? It didn't come down?
Yeah, very much, Scott. I mean, I think that we would, if we were to sign off on one, it would be very specific. It would be would you come back for a day to act on this particular language, okay? And for Senate Republicans, it would have to revolve around censorship, okay? Not open-ended where we could have long and protracted discussions about, a whole host of issues. So,
and when you say censorship, you mean like some sort of like resolution that would kind of like be an admonishment to the governor?
Exactly right. I mean, it's, and that's, that's not a small thing. But, we had many members of our caucus that were willing to come and do that.
Do you believe Representative Fredette when he tells us that he has the votes? I mean, they haven't yet produced a poll or anything. We've asked them for that. I've asked them for that. I don't know if anyone else asked them for it, but they're saying, we did it. We took the tally. We have it. If you want to file a Freedom of Access Act request for it,
Sure.
We'll give it to you. But I'm like, well, why don't you just give it to us?
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking him at his word on that.
Do you think that this is, I mean, I can sort of see this plan, I can see the response from the other side now, it's a cop-out or something to that effect. I mean, what do you...
Sometimes you draw the short straw in life, okay? And, for folks that think that everything that the governor has done is fine, they'll think we're horrible people for even considering censorship.
Yeah.
For some folks that think that impeachment is the only appropriate action, they'll call it a cop-out. We're not. Sometimes you draw the short straw in life, and but we thought that it was an appropriate action. That's where many of the members of our caucus were, and but it's it's 60 days before an election. I'm not sure that we've got time to work out all the details and get this done.
Seems like
you're not confident that, I mean, overall, are you not confident that this latest incident, or these latest incidents from the governor are the last ones? He's kind of expressed some sincere apologies and all, but Scott, are you expecting like we'll be here in January and there'll be something else?
Scott, I hope that we're all really happy with the new Hall of Age, and that he never again crosses lines that quite frankly, as I said in the press release, lines that never should be crossed. And that's the expectation. But am I 100% confident that that's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, I think every mayor's got their own degree of comfort with that statement. We'll find out. I certainly think that he must recognize the impact that his actions have had on the state, on this body, and ultimately on his own administration. So,
this story has garnered an incredible amount of attention across the country, and in some respects, international news outlets have picked it up. And I'm just wondering, like, what do you want? What would you, as a sort of an elected official in Maine, what would you want to tell people outside of Maine? Like what, tell them about Mainers as Mainers. What do we like? I've been telling people, that's not really how we talk.
Yeah, no, think that the fact of the matter is we have a wonderful state, and I wish people were writing about what a great place it is to not only come and visit, but to live and raise a family. And hopefully that's what folks start talking about rather than this. Again, I think that the governor does recognize. I mean, this was not a small bump in the road. This was a very large disappointment for many people, and I'm not interested in making excuses for that. And I hope that when the legislature reconvenes in December, that everybody goes, wow, it seems like there really hasn't been a profound impact on the governor, and he's put much of that explosiveness behind him.
Are you disappointed in the outcome legislatively, or are you just?
Yeah, no, I mean, in all honesty, my caucus would like to have found willing partners to come back for a very specific reason, for a very specific time frame. But, that didn't happen, and so we're stuck with what we've got. I think that enough people have made enough statements so that we all know that we're not celebrating this type of behavior, and he must know and understand at this point that it's not going to be tolerated any longer.
What are the dangers of an open-ended session such as being proposed?
Well, I mean, we could be in here for weeks with multiple different resolutions offered. It costs a lot of money. Not that that should be the ultimate deterrent, but if we're going to do this, we ought to take and come together and agree that we know what the goal is and have a little bit of framework worked out. And again, one group doesn't want to come back at all. Another group only wants to come back, to potentially impeach. I'm not even sure they really want to do that. I mean, let's be honest. It's a campaign issue. I think that, there are many folks that see this as a great opportunity to maximize their political advantage. And knowing full well that Republicans weren't going to come back for a impeachment trial at this point. So that's the world we live in. And, if it was Governor Baldacci that had done this, maybe Republicans would have, done some of the same things. But it does kind of reflect poorly on the entire institution when we can't, work together to come back. And I think Senate Republicans were in a good spot.
Seems like you've been painted into a corner here, sort of on your own side. And
is there anything new?
No, I mean, how does this complicate your position here in the institution's standing in this building?
I guess I mean, elaborate a little more. What do you mean by that?
No, I mean, it just seems that you're in the middle here, and there's a lot of pressure from your right and left. I mean, how do you navigate that?
I'll guarantee you that I will get emails from both the right and the left regarding this press conference today. The left will say, shame on you, you didn't do anything. The right will say, how dare you speak up, and criticize. It's the world I live in. I signed up for this duty. I guess, I shouldn't complain about it.
What is the goal? You indicated the Republicans had a goal and you can entertain it with impeachment and all that.
Yes.
What is
so,
the goal?
So Senate Republicans, the caucus, would have came back for censorship, which is an official, expression of disdain for what has been said and done. That's never happened in our state before. In the history of our state, that's not a small thing. That's taking this very seriously. And yet, we're unable to find partners to do that.
You said earlier, though, you're not completely ruling it out as a dead deal, done deal?
Scott, I mean, obviously, maybe, I'll get a call on the way home, although my phone is dead. Maybe I'll get a call on the way home tonight, and everybody will say, we all changed our mind, but, it's, 127's been a pretty rough session, and sometimes these things seem to take a lot longer to work out for some of you that have been here and watched than it seemed like it should. And at this point, given the diversity of opinions, I think it takes a long time for folks to come back to the middle. And again, I'm not sure that the Democrats necessarily see a huge advantage to them doing that. Remember, it's 60 days before an election, and if they can use this as a campaign tool and come back with a improved numbers, they'll look at that as a mandate.
If the shoe was on the other foot and a Democratic governor had sort of made these comments about one of your Republican members, where would you be? Would you be in the same place you are right now?
I would hope so. I'd be, because I think that our caucus is very disappointed, and I think they would, Scott.
Did you get a count? Did you get a head count? I mean, it's kind of hard in the House to figure out if we got numbers, but in the Senate, it's relatively small numbers. You have 20 members.
I actually, Scott, I don't have a count because we never formulated the question, and that question is important.
But
okay?
you were comfortable.
But I am comfortable that we were where we needed to be in order to come back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.